Thank you so much for listening and being in community. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next writer. Amalia Macias-Laventure used to do children's roller derby and feels that that makes sense for them. A queer ancestor that inspires them is Audre Lorde, and they will love to make dinner with her and enjoy conversation. It has been a joy and privilege for them to be in community with such vibrant, talented folks through this workshop.
Pardon me, y'all. This is my first time doing any kind of poetry, and I feel like I've been so lucky to be able to do that in community with such amazing folks. So really just all the love in the room for our wonderful teaching artists and for these folks right here. Y'all are amazing, and I feel so lucky to have built with you. I made a zine. Most of my art tends to be pretty physical, and when I was thinking about a queer ancestor, I started thinking about animals. Saurus cranes were the ones that came to mind first. My dad used to tell me so many stories about them because they were pretty local to his area for where he grew up in Vietnam. So I'm writing a letter to the cranes. Saurus cranes are a species of crane found in Southeast Asia. They are tall, non-migratory birds of flight and generationally lived at the mouth of the Mekong Delta. Notable facts about the cranes: they mate for life, they often have queer, polyamorous relationships, and are a symbol of eternal love. They sing when it rains, slow, pitched to drum beats, kind of like. After the wars in Southeast Asia, the natural habitat of the Saurus cranes in Indonesia, Laos, and Vietnam were deeply impacted. This forced the cranes to leave, searching for a new home. However, after 50 years, they've been sighted again at the Mekong Delta. I have learned from your return that to be a creature of memory is to repeat. Returning home is the practice of repeating what we have learned from our mother's mother's mother, ingrained in the muscles of generations past and forward. I'm on my own path home now. We share this pain of homecoming to the same place that has stung us over and over and over until it has felt like our bodies are on fire. After nursing the stings, did you ever question why you came back? When you close your eyes, do the memories of the Delta's water turn to fire flash? My dad remembers and says that he remembers the day that you left. In the hundreds, over the flickering heat of scorched earth, flying higher than he'd ever seen before. Watching his home burn down so far that even you and the water had left. I know that your return was not painless. Flight must have hurt your back, and I wish I could have rubbed menthol on your shoulders for the ache. You have taught me that ignorance to our past is not a tool of those seeking to rebuild, and restoration does not happen from afar. The first time I asked myself why I came home, I could only come up with the memories of my Banoy soup. She only cooks on Sundays after church. I take the elevator up to the 9th floor of the Fillmore Center, following the smell of boko to a door that is never closed. I never knew her apartment number until the day she had to pack her things, closing a door to a time of plastic-covered tables with family pictures underneath, disconnected fire alarms, and a parrot named Pretty Girl Number 2 that shrieked when sirens came down the street. Are you also unsure if home looks the same way it did 3 generations ago? Do you wonder if it's worth staying? When I ask myself if I want to leave, the air in the room will grow too humid and thick, swelling with sheer feeling, breathing akin to drinking. I'll just have to breathe and wait until time has moved as it always does, until I am safe and warm under 3 cobijas, ready to dream. Does the water come to you in your dreams? Remind you why you came back? She does in mine. At first she was subtle, a dewdrop to a mist, whispering, remember, remember the feeling of. Then she came as rain, then she came as marsh, then she came as monsoon, now she comes as ocean. Roaring, crashing, swelling, all enveloping, she surrounds my dreams, reminding me that I am exactly where I need to be. The drive between Bernal Heights and the Mission in 3 minutes flat, if you're willing to gun your car up Arnold's and miss the stop sign. If I don't make it, the flower lady told me she knows a guy who fixes cars for a good, honest price. The water reminds me that home is never stagnant in time. No matter the different faces my home wears, she feels the same. The water calls the memory of feeling to me, like the 3rd week of October, where the heat of fall, I'll make my way down to the corner of a fenced-off, forever closed $1 store and meet the florista to purchase marigolds and roses and maybe some red carnations. The 3rd week of October is the perfect time to set up the altar, put up the ofrendas, so that it's prepared for your abuelo's return, with flowers fresh enough for him to smell. The water begs me to not only endure the pain of return, but of remain. She told me she's flooding the Mekong again. I hope that when she came to you in your dreams, you felt the excitement that only home can bring. Though homecoming may be painful, to be a creature of memories to repeat and return home has been ingrained in the muscles of generations, practicing what we have learned from our mother's mother's mother in action and in name. A 50-year exodus broken. I hope your return has brought you relief. It has for me.